Hey everyone, I'm Mine, this is set number 71712, the Empire Temple of Madness from the Winter 2020 wave of Ninjago. This set contains 810 pieces, 6 minifigures, and retails for $79.99 in the US. I apologize for the janky setup here. Normally I like to film my reviews on a white background, but because the set is so tall, I literally couldn't fit it on any of the white backgrounds I had, so I'm filming it like this. I hope you guys don't mind. But anyway, let me pick the camera up and move in a little closer. So coming into the entrance right here, you can see there's two spots for the katanas, the lime green one and the pink one, and they both fit in right there, both come in the set. And this little sign right here with a sticker that says level V, I assume that means level 5, as in Roman numerals, but V is also like the symbol for Prime Empire itself. So that can also just imply that, hey, this is just the level where you fight the boss, since that symbol is used to pretty much represent Unigami and Prime Empire as a whole. You got these little blue tiles combined with all this red, and I really like how these colors combine. This is like the Prime Empire color scheme, but it really reminds me of like, I don't know, like old Lego back in the day, like 80s, 90s. There was sets that had this aesthetic with like the bright red and this color blue, and I think this is a really cool callback to that, and it looks really good here. You've got this sticker with a little pixelation right here on this transparent piece, and this is meant to mostly just be a ramp to go up here. And then coming up here, you have like these doors which open. If you come up to the top, there's the orange katana, meaning that you get all three in this set. And if you turn that, the doors will open. So you can close them and open them just by turning that katana up there. And I think that's a really cool feature, and it works quite well. And if you open it up, it says Game Over. And inside here, you can see we have a throne, which, big surprise, Unigami sits on it. Take the Unigami figure and put him in like that, and it is able to swivel 360 degrees, which just, it's fun. You're gonna have him like face backwards, you open the door, and then have him ominously turn around. It's a cute little feature right there. On the side, you have these little stickered pieces, which are essentially just supposed to be like a parkour course for the ninja, like to have them get up to the top, they have to jump on each one, so from there, to there, to there, to there, all the way up to here. And, I don't know, that's fun. I always liked that kind of stuff as a kid, just having ways to have the ninja like move around, just having more space to play with them, not necessarily display, but play with them. So coming up here, we have this little coffee maker build, which I think is a little bit of a weird choice for this set. Like, why does Unigami's temple need a coffee maker? But that being said, it's actually a really good build. It represents a coffee maker really well. It's got this little dial piece. It's got this roller skate piece used to represent like a handle and then the place to make the coffee. And then turning it a little bit more, we see these two Harry Potter wand pieces, which I'm pretty sure are meant to represent chopsticks, since the set comes with Sushimi, who makes sushi, and in the show he used chopsticks when like eating the sushi and like attacking with the sushi, so I'm pretty sure those wand pieces are meant to represent chopsticks. Speaking of sushi, you have two like living sushi pieces right here, as you may have seen in the Prime Empire show, and they just go right here, and this is a bit of a play feature where if you turn this dial, you can use the katana to put in right here and turn it, but you can also just use your hand. And if you turn it, it lifts up and the sushi falls out. You can have it fall out into any targets below, or you just have it launched, and it's just this living sushi piece with this print that I showed you before. Sushi is like wrapped to create teeth, and then there's an eye underneath, which is super creepy. Like super duper creepy, which is weird because it's sushi, which is inherently like a funny idea. But yeah, I think they did a great job designing that. But yeah, this feature is not the most consistent in the world. Like, as you can see, like now the second one is caught up, and even if I push it down, like it doesn't always drop right away. You gotta like really, I don't know, you gotta force it out sometimes. So it's not the greatest play feature in the world, but it's a creative concept, and I think I would have had fun with it as a kid, even if it didn't always work. Moving around to the front, we have more of the blue and red, and as I said, I think that's a great color combination. It's a great color scheme. You have a sticker of the Prime Empire logo right there on a trans orange piece, and I think this entire front section is built with like these bits coming off with the blue and like the red circle and that trans orange piece. I think this is probably the best part of the build. It makes the temple look really complete and really cool, and I love how that looks. And then coming around to the other side, you have another like parkour section here. It's pretty much identical to the other side, just mirrored. And then coming up here, you have three blades with the trans lime green pieces and a arcade cabinet that's actually minifigure scale. It's not the most accurate arcade cabinet, like the arcade pods are more accurate to how the arcade cabinets look in the show, but this is actually minifigure scale, which is cool, so you can actually have Jay or anyone play this arcade cabinet if you want. And then if you could see on the little stickered piece, it's got just Jay fighting some living sushi, which is a nice reference to this set and the show. And then finally, moving up to the top, this is where the third katana is kept, the orange one. Just a little more shaping right here to finish off the temple, and I think it looks cool. And then right here is where the katana is kept. It's just kept in another one of these little pieces, and you can turn it like this to open and close the doors that like I showed you before. You can remove the katana like that. And as you can see, it's just got this little scoreboard right here that says number 1 Unigami, number 2 Will. I don't think we know who Will is, but Will is number 2 apparently. Number 3 is Jay, number 4 is Manovi. Then finally, there's these two little blades on the side here which could flip up like this. I think they look good when flipped up, but they don't always stay. Like, you gotta be very particular to get them to stay, and there's no locking mechanism. And, like, I thought it would turn with this, but really no, this thing right here where you keep the katana is only to control the doors at the bottom. It really doesn't affect these. So these just sort of fall to the ground, and I don't know, they don't look great left like that. Like, they look great when pointed up. So while they're a cool piece, and getting that piece in trans orange is really cool to see, like, it's just disappointing how it works. Like, it's not consistent enough, and it's just kind of pointless in my opinion. It just takes up space and makes the build really annoying to keep like that. Like, constantly falls, and it's just not great. And then finally, here is the back of Unagami's throne room. You can see we've got some sticker tiles. We have like a couple little ninja right here. There's like green area, a couple green zeros, and then a ninja fighting a dragon. And here's that chair, as I mentioned before, that can swivel. And Unagami doesn't actually connect to any studs. He can just be taken in and out like that. Now, before I get on to the minifigures, the set does come with one sushi piece that's not like the rest. This one actually has arms and carries 2 red swords, and I think that's just really funny. He just uses the skulking arms in black, and he's got the same print as the other ones. He just has arms, while the other ones were just the sushi pieces. So moving on to the minifigures, we'll start with the ninja. There's 3 in the set, 3 heroes, 3 villains, and the ninja you get are Digi-J, Digi-Lloyd, and Digi-Cole. Digi-J is the least valuable figure in this entire wave. He's good. He's a good-looking figure, but he comes in so many sets, including the $10 arcade pod, so chances are you already have one in one way or another, so the fact that he comes in this set is not all too important. Though if this is the only Prime Empire set you get, it is nice to get the main character at the very least. Lloyd's quite common too, but not as common as Jay. He does come in a $10 arcade pod, but besides that, I think the cheapest set he comes in is $30, so this is a nice way to get him. This set was the first Digi-Lloyd figure I got. I did get more later down the line, but this was my first Digi-Lloyd figure came from this set, so it is nice that he's included here. But Digi-Cole is the most desirable ninja of the set. He does come in a $10 set, this Cole Speeder card, but that is a 4+ set, and I know not everybody wants to buy 4+ sets, so this is a nice way to get him that isn't 4+, and this is the only set he comes in that isn't 4+. I'm not a huge fan of Digi-Cole's design. I feel like it's kind of just a mess of colors. It's got blue, it's got orange, it's got black, it's got gray. Like, there's so much going on there, so I don't love how it looks, but it's Cole's Digi-Suit, and I'm happy to have Cole's Digi-Suit so I can complete the collection. Lloyd and Jay both look good too, but I've covered them in other reviews, so I'm not going to go on too long about them here. I like the lime green printing on Lloyd, and I like the metallic printing on Jay's legs. Here these 3 are with their accessories removed, and you get a better look at their torsos, and you can see all of their face prints. They all have like the digital eyes with like a grimace on their face. They all look good, and they fit really well under the hood. Outside the hood, they do look a little strange, but with the hood on, these face prints look great. And then from the back, as you can see, we have new face prints for all 3 of these guys. These were all new face prints for Prime Empire that were only used for Prime Empire. Jay and Lloyd's faces both look great. They are very similar to their Spinjitzu Slam versions, but different enough and better than those versions. And then Cole, this is an entirely new face. This is the first new face he's gotten since the movie, so that's super exciting to see. And I don't feel like the expression really matches Cole in the show, but it's close enough that it works for him. And yeah, there's all their back torso prints. I think Cole's back torso print is really lame. Like, compared to how detailed these 2 are, Cole's just looks really plain and basic, so not a huge fan of that, but again, as I said, I'm happy just to have the Digi-Cole figure, even if it's not the best looking one. And then here are our 3 villains. We have a Red Visor, Tsushimi, also known as the Mad Sushi Chef in the show, and Unagami himself. The Red Visor comes in 2 other sets. It's like the main, like, generic villain of the season, and they look great. They're really cool looking, and I wish they came in more sets, because the rats were sort of made the generic villain in the sets, but in the show it's definitely the Red Visors to be like the main army of the villains, so I wish we got more of them, but I'm happy that this one is included in the set. He's got this blue and red design just like the temple itself, and yeah, he looks really cool. He's got some metallic printing on him. Love the design of the Red Visors. Tsushimi here is exclusive. He's a nice design. The printing is a little too light on his torso. Like, you can see how that white looks a little dull compared to his legs and armor, which is disappointing. I wish that it was printed a little thicker, because I know LEGO can print thicker, they just sometimes choose not to, and Tsushimi is one of those cases. But I like the pixelated mustard and whatnot on his torso that's like splattered down like he's an actual chef, but it's pixelated because he's in Prime Empire, and I think that's a nice touch. And the bandana piece in yellow and red is really cool to see in that color. I like that a lot. And then Unagami here comes with 2 round tiles underneath him in this set. He doesn't come with that in any of the other sets he comes in, which is weird, so I'll take those off now, but I just thought I should point that out, that in the instructions it says put those on him, and I'm not sure the point of it. Makes him look a little taller, I guess, but other than that, it doesn't serve much purpose. Here these guys are with their armor and some of their accessories removed, and you can get a better look at their torso prints and face prints. The red visor is a very robotic looking face. It's just got the Prime Empire logo on it, but it looks good and it fits what the character is. Tsushima has these big bushy eyebrows and the yellow eyes and this like confident smile with a little mustache. I love Tsushimi's face design. It's so fun and so exciting, and it really fits the character. And even though he didn't have a big part in the show, it really makes him stand out, and I'm just happy to have this minifigure. And then Unagami is a little strange looking under the beard. He kind of looks like Zane, I've heard people mention, with bright yellow eyes, and then he's got the dash in his eyebrow, which kind of reminds me of Original J, which might even be a reference since this is a J season, but I love the red and blue throughout the torso, just like I like on the red visor and on the temple itself. It's just it's such a cool color combination. Really reminds me of like retro video games, retro Lego, and I love it. Turn these guys around, you can see the alternate faces for the red visor and for Unagami. The red visor's alternate face is super scary looking. Like, that's a really spooky design. Unfortunately, it is non-canon. It never appeared in the show, but like, they didn't really have any other expressions in the show, so I'm not going to complain about this face. I'm happy we got it, because it looks really cool. And even if it doesn't necessarily fit the red visor, you can use it for your own custom characters, or in your own custom story, or when you're playing, you can always imagine that the red visors do look like that, because that's like a super scary design, and I love it. And then the back torso print for him, I think, is even cooler than the front. He's got like these swirls of blue with like this red dripping down, and it looks super cool. And then it says 404, which is funny video game reference, or funny internet reference, actually. So that makes us all laugh. Tsushima has like this dead fish on the back of his torso, but it's like a pixelated dead fish from a video game, and I love that. It's just so fun. I love this figure. Tsushima's such a fun figure. Printing quality is really the only thing that holds him back, because once again on the back, the white is too dull on the torso. He's just a fun and creative figure, and I like him a lot. And then Unagami has the same sort of design on the back of his torso, and then he actually has printing on the back of his dress, which is interesting, because I didn't know those pieces really were printed on the back. Normally they only print on the front of those, so that's really cool to see. So overall, would I recommend this set? Here's the thing. I think it's a good set. I just think there's better options out there, because looking at this, like, I couldn't help but notice how small it felt when I was reviewing it. Like, yes, I know I literally had to fill outside of my light box because it was too tall, but other than the height, like, it's not very full. Like, this is an $80 set. The Skull Sorcerer's Dungeon is only $20 more, and that feels like such a bigger set. I like both of these sets, right? Skull Sorcerer's Dungeon and this set are both great, but I feel like there's just better options to get for $80 to $100. Like, if I were you, I would save up the extra 20 and get the Skull Sorcerer's Dungeon. Or if you already had that, get the Skull Sorcerer's Dragon. Or, like, there's so many other sets out there. There's the Ultra Dragon, there's the Monastery even. Like, so many sets out there that I think are probably a better value than this one. That being said, if you really like this set, I think it is a good one to get. My main complaint is the size of it. It doesn't feel like enough for $80, but it's got good figures in it, especially Tsushima. You heard me. I like him a lot. Digicoal is cool to get here, and it's always fun to get another red visor. It's a nice play set, too. I think I would have had a lot of fun playing with this as a kid, but in terms of display, in terms of actual size, I think there's better options out there. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you do decide you want to get this set, you can click the link in the description below. That's my Amazon affiliate link, and it'll take you to the Amazon listing for this set. If you then go on and buy this set from Amazon, it'll help support me at no extra cost to you, and I would greatly appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and subscribe if you're new. I do LEGO and Ninjago videos like this every single day, so if you subscribe, you'll be the first to see them. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.